Hey, good morning, Facebook. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to keep my voice a little bit down so you can hear the beautiful birds in the background. This is, it's awesome. They seem to just start chirping really loud when I come on here live. And maybe it's because it's the time of day, 8 o'clock. Welcome to the Daily Dose with right here, Coach Mark Avens. On a side note, I am an online coach, creator of the Lean Body Breakthrough. But right now, I'm going to give you a daily dose of encouragement. This is episode number 21. So welcome. Good morning. I'll give a moment or two, see if anybody joins us this morning. If you do, give me a little thumbs up, give me a little wave. Let me know you're here. If you've watched them before, you know the deal. The daily dose is to simply provide you with a daily dose of encouragement. But the birds can't chirp. I don't know if you can interpret what they're saying, but they're filled with hope. It's another day, and I want to share just a quick message about hope, about boundless hope. And there is a difference about hope, and then there's this boundless hope. And I'm excited to share this with you. It is Sunday. It's a day to rest, but the one thing that I'm going to do today is give you a daily dose of encouragement, because now more than ever, I feel we all need more encouragement and more encouragement and more encouragement, not just motivation. If we were just to rely on motivation, this isn't motivating you to do, just to encourage you to get through your day. So with that, welcome. When you come on here, just give me a little wave. Let me know that you're here. So let's talk about it. I had a great walk this morning. You may have seen the sunrise. And just so you know, I'm a beach person. So whether you are close to the beach, like the beach, you're going to see some sunrises. Yesterday, I did a daily dose with my wetsuit on. I was very grateful that it fit. And that was exciting. Hey, welcome. Thank you. When you come on here, let me know. So I know that you're here. I see some people watching. This is great morning. Good morning to you. Listen to the birds chirp. I appreciate you for watching. And really all I ask is, if you find this encouraging, is that maybe there's somebody in your Facebook world, maybe a friend that you can share this to that will give you some encouragement. And one of the things that I was thinking about this morning is, as I got up, and I got up a little later, it was like 6 o'clock. It was actually really nice to sleep in. And what I've realized and as a Christian, and again, regardless if your faith is strong, if you have no faith at all, is that right now, I know that when I woke up this morning, God met me exactly where I was at. Like he's meeting me this morning exactly where I am. And that's a bit of hope. And I'm going to share with you a little bit of a story about hope and about, right now, a lot of people they're hopeful, but they're hopeful as in things, hopeful in circumstances, hopeful in maybe the government, hopeful in the news telling us we can get back to normal, hopeful in those types of things. And that's actually bound to something. And now, mind you, boundless, and I mentioned that's the title of this, is being boundless hope, is because this is the one thing that I didn't realize until I came to faith, until I came to this relationship and understanding who really God was and how amazing he is and how much he cares for me and how much he values me. And that's that kind of boundless hope. And honestly, it took a while to kind of get that. I didn't really understand it. And then life stuff started happening in my world. So probably I'm 47 now. So when I was in my probably later 30s, I would say, so it's about 10 years now, we went through a lot of just trials, tribulations, and struggles in our family walk. And one of them was probably about 6 years ago. And I'll share that with you in a minute. But I want to just encourage you to know that God will meet you exactly where you are. That's why I posted that little message. I made that post this morning in order to take you where he wants you to go. And one of the things, when you realize that hope can be boundless, it can be truly boundless, that's when things start to open up. Doors start to open. You start to hear different things. You start to see differently the way the world is, sunrises, a beautiful bird, those types of things. And I'm not just talking about nature. But it is true that God he will meet you exactly where you are. And even if you don't know who he is, and I knew there was a God all growing up, grew up Catholic, and then kind of went away from church, as a lot of people do, regardless of your faith, and in, different seasons of your life. And I would say is when I came to, and that was and I won't get into that story, how I came to my faith, but I would say is while I was walking in faith, and I do still today, and I'm very strong in my faith, and that's just who I am, regardless. Again, if you want to hear this or not, you don't have to listen, but I want to share with you a really powerful story. It's a personal story, but again, I'm not going to get into all of it because I don't want this could be a half-hour story. And sometimes, I can go a little long on my daily dose. But I think if this daily dose reaches just one person, then to me, then it's well worth spending the 20 minutes that I won't get back, you won't get back, and I do appreciate that. So in my walk about 6 years ago, and just learning, kind of getting, I went on a couple of mission trips, started getting involved with church and relationships and a men's group, and just started to open up just different ways of viewing this idea of hope and how life can be, and it was pretty amazing. And while at that time there was still struggles, it wasn't mean like everything was like perfect then. It doesn't mean like I just handed my life over to Jesus and everything was awesome, right? Yes, things were old and passed on, and I was a new person, felt new, but still I still had junk. And at the time, about 6 years ago, and I don't know honestly how I would get through it, is that it would have been very easy to lose hope. Had a mom, I still have mom. My mother had fallen off a ladder and she shattered her leg, and it was like a terrible moment. It's part of my story. It's definitely, honestly, it's helped shape who I am. It's still something that I will carry with me in going through those moments in life. With my family, it was a turmoil moment where she fell and then had major surgeries, but that wasn't even it. It was when medication kind of took over, and her personality kind of blended with the medication, threw her for a bad loop, and it caused a lot of mental illness, and it caused her to be on medications and have suicidal tendencies and completely like rip my family apart. And while, man, I try not to get emotional about this, it is emotional. It was at a period in life for myself, my family, my wife and kids, and my sister's family and my parents, that it was a period that could have left us hopeless, could have left us at a really dark place. And I would say, as while I can look back on that and think of it was such a hard moment when you're taking your mom and having to Baker act your mother who was trying to end her life. And again, it being mentally driven. Mental illness is a terrible thing. Nobody wants to talk about mental illness or mental health problems. And I can just say, for one, right here, without getting into all the details, and it's okay, she doesn't mind me sharing. In fact, she says, if it can help somebody, share my story, because she is alive today. It went through a period where my parents actually, after 48 years of marriage, got divorced. 48 years. Like, it was something that I never thought or dreamt possible. I have a great family, great parents. They loved me my entire life, cared for me, disciplined me. It was amazing. And here we sat about 6 years ago, I guess it was, and my parents were saying they were done. They were completely done, and that was a terrible moment. And not to mention, while that was happening, my mom was still having these mental health issues. So the point is, it would have been easy to give up hope, or to just have my hope in, say, a rehab center, a hope in medicine, or a hope in that things, and I'm just like hope in a prayer, and not really truly believe the boundless hope that is in God, and having faith that he will meet me. And he did. He met me. And that's kind of my boundless hope message to you, is that right now, wherever you're at, he's going to meet you exactly where you are today. So if you're like so jacked up, feeling like, I don't know where I'm going to pay my bills, I don't know if I'm going to be able to feed my family, I don't know if I'll be able to get back to work again, I don't know if things are going to be different, I might just be worried about getting sick or getting somebody sick or dying, because of a virus, and being in complete state of fear. And I'd say there can be hope to think about what the news can say about, hey, things are looking good, and hope in maybe medicines and things that you can take as far as to cure this virus that's rampant, obviously, and around, and all those things. You can have hope in that, or regardless of and hope in those circumstances, things that are like, okay, I can like believe that that's it. Or you can have this boundless hope that only comes from having this belief in God, he's going to take care of you. And that's it. That's kind of the message. So my question to you, if you're watching this right now, or even if you catch this on a replay, I want to know, do you have hope? And you don't have to tell me what kind of hope. Do you have hope right now? Because if you don't, it's going to be hard to get through. Even if things are going good, the chances are, even if things are going good right now, I don't know if you've lived, I know even when things are going good, it's just a matter of time before something may throw, throw a wrench in it and turn in a different direction. It may not be so good. So that's where the hope can be found in just your circumstances, or hope can be found in a God who loves you and cares for you and values you so much. He knows you're so valuable. And that's a boundless kind of hope and belief that God wants good things for you. Listen, there's a couple of verses I want to share with you. And thank you for listening, by the way, about my mom's story. And I say why I'm able to share this. Like, gosh, how is he able to share this about his life? And I say, is because that's the reality. Like, I know it's easy to just put highlight reels. I know it's easy to come on Facebook and just share your beautiful, like everybody's beautiful pictures. And guess what? There's not those beautiful vacations right now. They're not going on. And you're going to spend time maybe just looking at beautiful people on TV and, those things, and kind of in that la land. And again, don't get me wrong. There's an escapism and there's a void that's being filled by things like movies and TVs and news and worry and fear and all those things. And you can fill that space, but I'll tell you what, the void will end up being empty. That's not a kind of hope to be boundless, if you will. But let me just share this with you. Here's the thing why I know that God will meet you exactly where you are. 2 Corinthians 5:17. And again, here, let me just tell you this, preface this. I'm not a theologian. I think there's scripture that over the last 10 years of my faith journey is that have resonated with me. And actually, the second one is actually one of the first ones that I memorized. And I say I memorized it because I keep it close to me. I keep those things that helps me keep at the top and forefront of the mind. The things that you focus on are the things that are going to shape your days and your weeks and how you live your life. And I would say is when you have this boundless hope, and how I get it, first and foremost, it comes honestly from my faith and belief, but also the Bible has some amazing things too. I'll tell you, even if you don't know what faith is, open up that Bible. There's some great stories in there and great messages. And I'll tell you what, it's living and breathing and it's so great. So anyway, 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. And that's like so hopeful, right? Like if you have this understanding and knowledge of God, and this is not even religion. It's interesting when people say you're really religious, and I really don't consider myself religious. I consider myself having a relationship with God through Jesus. That's pretty much my religion, if you will. The religion, honestly, more of like a set of rules, and I'm definitely not a rule follower, so it's something that, I don't know. Hey, I want to say a welcome. Hey, Jonica and Cynthia and Carl, appreciate you being on here, by the way. I still have more to the message because I have another verse that's really one of my favorite verses, and if you have never heard it, you may have heard it before. Hey, Kim and Marcy and Rachel, thank you so much for watching. Listen, all I ask in return is if you like this, a message of hope, this daily dose, is that you put on and share it with a friend, or you come back and watch more. This is episode number 21, and it's called Boundless Hope. So anyway, sharing that verse with you, knowing you're a new creation, that's what's really cool, is regardless of how much junk you've carried over the years, no matter, whether you have addictions, relationship worry problems, a divorce, any of those things, if you feel like you're not good enough, here's the beautiful thing. It's scriptural. God's going to meet you exactly where you are right now. He met me. If he can meet somebody who's jacked up, I had issues, problems, struggles, challenges, sin in my life, things that I knew I probably shouldn't have been doing, and still to some extent struggle with them. But I knew God would meet you. He's a forgiving God, a grace-filled God, and that's what's like so amazing. And this Sunday, hey, listen, you may not put on a show, like put on church online and watch, which 99%, I think all of them are online right now, which is great. But I'll tell you, I'm excited to hear a message of hope from a pastor who's going to share hope and again, filling my mind with that. So that's just so you know, he will meet you today. He can meet you right now exactly where you are. And here's one of my first verses that I learned, Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not evil, to give you a future. And guess what that last word is? And what is it? Hope. Seriously, I'm going to read that again, Jeremiah 29:11. And if you, honestly, again, this scripture is so powerful. It's one of the first ones I learned when I was going through some hard moments. And for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare, not evil, to give you a future and a hope. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that like a reassurance? So listen, when I shared that in the beginning, and when I posted in this morning in Earlier, I made a post about God will meet you exactly where you are in order to take you where he wants you to go. Now, it's not like he doesn't want you to have good things and enjoy good life and be, financially okay and be able to pay your bills and have food on the table and enjoy beautiful vacations and nice things, right? He wants all of those nice things for you again, but in order for him to give you the direction, you need to let him actually into your life. That's kind of what it comes down to. And I'll tell you what, that one, knowing the plans I have for you, it makes a reassurance for me is regardless of my circumstances, that's the boundless hope that just sits right here. Hope for a better tomorrow, hope. And again, why go through life in being negative, feeling the glass is half empty, being pessimistic, being angry and bitter? It really just drains your energy levels. And, God stirs us to move forward. At the end of the day, if I'm stirring you right now, just so you know, if this message is stirring in you right now, if God's getting to you through me, then that is a win. He stirs us to move forward. The thing I think what resonates with me is and it's interesting because I had some people come into my coaching program this past week that are kind of at in not a great spot, looking to have some hope for a healthier tomorrow, to get their bodies and their health back in order. It's what I do. It's what I've been doing. And it kind of resonated with me when I was reading this Jeremiah 29:11 is knowing the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare, not evil, to give you future and hope. And, to some extent, when I help people on their health and fitness journey, essentially, what I'm empowered to do is to help them have more of a future and a hope by taking better care of themselves. And that's what we need in this life right now, all of us. And regardless of even if you're in a good place, is someone who can believe that we can be on the task that's given to us, who will be with us all the way. Now, here, the reassurance and boundless hope that I come back to in this message is that I know that God's going to be with me all the way. That's the hope that's boundless, rather than I don't necessarily know the news. I don't know if things for the virus to take and what is that? I'm trying to find the word for that. Taking immunizations and medications, and I don't know what the world is going to give us tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think you do. I don't know if I'm going to get hit by a car or have some cancer or have something happen to me. But the reality is, at the end of the day, my hope isn't in those things. My hope is in the boundless kind of hope that only can become with that relationship with God. And isn't that awesome? Here's a beautiful thing. Knowing that he will meet you where you are is to understand that God is he's a leader, and he's a kind leader. That's what's awesome, is he's willing to meet us where we are in all of our junk and all of our mistakes and all of our broken promises and maybe things that cause us to sin in our life. And he knows not only what you've done, he knows what you're going to do later down the road. He knows the future, and his plans for us is good and filled with hope. So if this message can give you anything right now beyond a bit of encouragement, is that an understanding of boundless hope. So that's the thing I want to leave with you today, this boundless hope. Have hope. Be hopeful. Be hopeful that you will get through this coronavirus. Be hopeful that even if your circumstances aren't where maybe you had expected them to be, maybe a month ago you were flying high, and your business was good, and your family situation was good, and your kids were on the right track, and now maybe everything is all up in the air right now, and you're feeling hopeless. Well, I can say, well, I've been in that situation, and even now, to some extent, there's a bit of that struggle, but my hope isn't in all those circumstances. My hope is in the boundless hope of God being in my life, and that relationship that comes only through Jesus Christ. So I'm going to leave you with that. I hope this message found you well. Look, I just said hope again. Boundless hope is my message for you today. I hope you have an amazing, blessed Sunday. I hope if you're listening to a message maybe on church, if you're watching an online service, that you're encouraged by the pastor, what they say, the worship music. Again, that's the encouragement we all need. And if you like this more, tomorrow, Monday, starting a new week, being filled 8 a.m., come join me. Set your You can go up and set on receive notifications. I think it's down below to receive notifications next time I go live, but you can guarantee this is 21 days at 8 a.m. I'm about as consistent as they get, and if I'm saying I'm going to do this indefinitely right now, for the time being, 8 a.m. Meet me tomorrow for a daily dose. Share with your friends. Take care, and God bless. We'll see you.